Omni Channel agents can interact with the live chat in Power Portals, and how the request from customers are transferred between the Power Virtual Agent and the human agents. So before I move on to the session, I would quickly introduce about myself. I am Devi Kumari Krishna. I am a solution architect working for Robert Bosch. I have 15 plus years of industry experience and very proficient in analyzing and translating the requirements into technical architectures. So I've also flashed my contact details. This is my LinkedIn ID, my email ID, and I record all my learnings in my blogs under D365 Topics by DK. Right. So yeah, in today's session I will be quickly introducing about Dynamics 365 omni-channel. I know now the context is set for all the participants, and why we need omni-channel, how do we provision it, what is the integration framework it works on. We will also be configuring the Power Virtual Agent bot, and also we will be seeing how the request is transferred between in the bot and the human agent. So if time permits, I would also like to show you on the other configuration channels like SMS, Facebook, and live chat. Okay. So what is Dynamics 365 Omni-channel? So it is the flexibility which is added to the customer service module. It is a robust application which helps the customer service providers to have real-time connection with the customers, and quickly respond to them through the live chat, through the SMS, to any means, be it a WhatsApp conversation, or you directly engage with them by placing a call, a voice call, or a video call. So it provides a modern and highly productive app. So it is within few hours, with less configuration, your channel is all set up for communication. So why we need omni channel? Now most of the customers are shifting to an online presence, so the expectation of the customer also changes, and the way we interact with the service providers have a very high expectation from customers now. So we have the digital channel setup, which is definitely required. It is not limiting to any channel. We need an infrastructure where you name the channel, I should be able to configure it. So one such flexibility is provided by Omni Channel for customer service. So it helps us to inject the real time interactions and provide great customer service. Okay, so there are some prerequisites to enable the omni-channel. The first and foremost, you have the D365 platform for customer service. Either you are into an engagement plan or a customer service license. On top of it, you should have the subscription for chat or Dynamics 365 digital messaging add-on. So there are some concerns which we need to sign, in terms of what kind of data could be shared. So the steps are all simple. In few configurations and few clicks, you will be able to achieve all that. So the person who is configuring, the admin center and who is setting up the agents and supervisors, he requires the tenant admin and D365 system admin permissions. Okay, so here I have highlighted couple of building blocks for omni-channel. So how do the omni-channel infrastructure is set up? We have the configurations to be enabled for any of the channels. It is not limiting to these channels. So Facebook, SMS, Twitter, WhatsApp, and bring your own custom channel. So how does it operate? So we need to have an API and secret code for each of the channel through which we are going to enable the channel communication. So once we set up the channel, so omni-channel returns a callback URL which we have to go and update back in the channel provider. So then we configure the work stream. So work stream is responsible for governing the communication with respect to each channel, and how all the incoming requests are channelized properly, and made sure that an agent is attending all the incoming requests. So it helps us to govern channel behaviors, list down user features in terms of whether I could connect through video call or voice call, I can exchange some attachments. All those features we could list down in the workstream. So there are additional rule set which governs the specific agent is able to pick and work on certain regional request or certain type of channel request. And we also have the routing logic setup. In routing logic, we define which specific queue has to action for the incoming channel requests. So as you see, the blocks are just streamlining, and it is shrinking in size. So it is a clear indication that the request can pile up from any of these channels, streamlined in work stream. And there are specific agents, and based on the skill and capacity, and who is visualizing all these incoming requests in their queues. They could also visualize them in their conversation dashboards. So the request is all narrowed down and made sure somebody is attending on the right request at the right time. Okay. So how these channels are communicating with omni channel. We have an integration framework, the channel integration framework, so which governs the regional data. For example, there is a channel URL for each and every specific region. For example, if I procure my omni channel instance for India region, so the Microsoft Docs has a system requirement specified. So I will be able to know which channel URL is, governing my, request for the specific region. Once I have this, I then list down my channel apps, be it, existing omni-channel apps, or, custom model driven app, which is going to use this channel framework. Okay. So this is the architecture on which our Dynamics 365 omni-channel works on. So the steps are pretty simple. You have a model driven app, and then you start the conversation. You enable the channel framework adapter, then you define on which channel you will communicate. So make sure that the communication widget is available for the customers so that they initiate the conversation. And once the request is coming in, you have the right provider configured with the callback URL, so the request are channelized to the right omnichannel app. Okay, so today I'm going to demonstrate how the Power Virtual Agent bots could also help us in accessing the request, and how they transfer the request to the human agent when they don't have the sufficient information to address the customers. So the Power Virtual Agents lets us to create a powerful chatbot, that can answer all the questions which are pre-configured. And if it is integrated with the, bot service, it also has the capability to learn from the new questions which customer is posting them. So these bots can be created easily. It does not require any prior technical knowledge on writing, coding. So it is all simply configurable and, available on this low code platform. So connect the bot to omnichannel. Once you have this connection in place, the transfer is so smooth, that in real time customers' requests are handled. Okay. So how do I integrate a powerful virtual bot? So the integration is so seamless. As I was telling, it is not limited to a specific channel. Once you have it, you could, the bot could act for you in any of the channels. So then it helps us to be very flexible in terms of exchanging the communication to human agent. Then we could have other bots where human agent transfers the request back to the, bots. And we could extend the, features of whatever the Power Automate or Power Platform is providing by integrating with the Azure services. So you could also extend it to the Azure Q&A maker, where the bot gets more matured in terms of learning. Okay, so without any delay, and before moving on to other channel descriptions, I will quickly demonstrate the admin center features. So in this demo, we will switch back between the admin center, agent, and the customer service agent. So let me know if you're able to see my admin center app. Okay. So once I have the omni-channel configured, I will quickly show my list of available, apps. I will be able to see the omni-channel admin center and the omni-channel for customer service app. You will notice that there is one more app, Omnichannel Administration. I think it's going to be retired soon, and all the features are already available in the Omnichannel Admin Center model-driven app. So once I'm here, I have list of channels which I've already configured, and here when I click on add account, I will be able to create a new channel here. It could be a custom channel, or it could be one of the standard channels where customers are more comfortable exchanging their communications in these days. Okay, so once I have these channels, so let me go one by one. So I will start with the SMS channel. So the SMS and WhatsApp channel in the current model available. So we need additional service providers. So for the demo, I have configured Twilio as the provider. You could also do it with Telesign. So you could see the account key and the token which is provided by the Twilio account. So I've configured this. Then the active number in which I'm going to exchange my SMS, I have also configured this here. So once I have this information, so I will be quickly testing if this is a valid number by just validating it here. So then I have a callback information which I will go and update back in my Twilio account. So that's it. We are all set for exchanging the communication through SMS. Before I move on and show you how the incoming SMS request is popping up on the agent screen, I will also show you quickly because the WhatsApp and SMS have configured the same Twilio provider, so the configuration steps are simple. So here I have an active WhatsApp number which is going to channelize my request, and there is a callback information which I have already updated in my Twilio account. So having all these things, is this all? So I will, this is not limited to it. Now I will show you additional settings by moving on to my work stream. So let me open the SMS work stream that I have created. Okay. So here you could see that, my channel, SMS channel is already in. I will quickly, in edit mode, I will show you the behaviors which I was talking in the building blocks. So I decide which language my communication is going to be and what all behaviors I have. So if I have a specific operation hours in which this SMS channel is going to be active, I could define that. If I want to, give a first line automated response to the customer, I could also configure that. So once my SMS conversation is getting to a closure, I could also enable my post conversation survey. This is acting on the customer voice of customer license. So today for this demo I have not configured because I really want to focus on the agenda. So here I'm defining the user features where I'm enabling the exchange of attachments also through the SMS. So both customers can also send the attachments, and agent also could respond back with the attachment in terms of knowledge base articles, user manuals and stuff. All right. So here I'm defining the routing rules. So the rule could be either to classify my work, or the rule could be to channelize my work to a specific queue. Okay. So, and here you could see that my work is distributed. I define, what is my work distribution mode going to be, whether the agent should be notified with a push notification, what is the capacity it has to deal with. So, what all times I could push this notification, what are the allowed presence of the agent. When the agent is available or busy, I will be able to push all these things. So here you could see on right, I told you that for any channel we could configure the bot. So all I have to do is I just quickly add bot and choose from the list of configured bots I have. So I'm not going to do this now because I don't want to disturb the demo configurations I have made. Okay, so I move on to the other channel. So I will quickly show you the work stream I have configured for chat. So here is where I have enabled my bot. So here I have also added my channel, the chat channel which I had configured. So the features of Exchange are pretty much the same, but there is one additional feature when I do my live chat. So you could see here that I will be able to determine the title of the chat icon which will display on the websites. So and the subtitle, the color theme, all are configurable. So if I have to set a proactive chat, or yeah, I want to wait for the agent to click on the chat icon and then I start the conversation. Okay, so I also define additional behaviors in terms of setting up the automated message, and also have some pre-conversation survey if I want to know if it's the first time he's hitting the website, I want to know the name and email ID of the person. All those pre-conversation survey can be enabled. So I've enabled couple of questions, I mean, which I thought it is relevant for this current demo. So what would be the question type or what he's interested in our website? Okay, so here also in for each and every channel we will be able to configure a post conversation survey, and we could choose the voice of customer survey questions for each channel. All right. So I have additional features when I come to live chat, where on top of file attachments, I also have some, calling options that I could govern with. So I could decide whether, I could only have a voice only call, or I could also have a voice and video call with the customers. So in terms of troubleshooting, where I have to go and explore in the customer's system what went wrong, so I also can enable the screen sharing and co-browsing options. Okay. So I have my bot enabled. I will quickly demonstrate, and then I will show you how simple I have configured a bot, and how it is automating the transfer. Okay. So I move on to my agent service. Okay, so this is the omni-channel agent dashboard. So every time you hit the customer service, it makes a pre-check that if the authentication is fine, if the browser is all set to receive the incoming notifications. So for today's demo, I've configured a simple portal. So let me just open. I don't even have to sign in. I just want to keep the use case as simple as possible. You could see that I've enabled the live chat, and by default the icon is already available for me. So I just hit, and these are the pre-conversation questions that I had configured. So I'm going to say demo user 5. Okay, demo user 5 at gmail.com. So I'm interested to know, how do I register to this portal? So I quickly make a submission. Okay, so I move on to my omni-channel app. So I could see that already my status is busy. Okay, so now I'm going to say whether I'm going to make a. Okay, my bot is also addressing me because I was little slow in navigating. So my bot wanted to, respond to the customer first. All right, so I can go and make a quick new inquiry. So I have configured in such a way that whenever I track a case, the bot will respond to me in terms of letting him the status and other updates. And when I make a new inquiry, it will go and call the agent. So now let me go here. So you could see that it is escalated from bot. My bot is passing this request to the agent. So let me accept. Okay. Okay. So you could see here that I'm shuffling between my agent and the portal screen. So the incoming request is all seamless. Before submission, I just switch back to the screen just to show that you see this prompt, right? The customer is typing. Okay, I want to create a new case. Okay, excuse me for that. Okay, the customer wants to talk instead of typing, so the agent is going to ring the customer right away. Okay, so you could see that I will just mute here just to avoid the echoing. Okay, So you could see the incoming call is already in. So I could either enable the video, or I could, attend the call directly as a voice call. So assuming I am going to, talk to the customer, so it is all simulation. So the conversation is going on, and in the meantime, I would quickly create a case. I don't have to move anywhere else, but I just quickly click here. Okay, he has problem, in setting up the new laptop. So at the moment, I mean, this is a new customer for me. So I have quickly clicked. I'm going to, register his contacts pretty fast. So I just give demo user 5, just share some basic information so that I could reach him back. So I'm taking his number. Excuse me for that. Okay. So I just take his email ID, supply@gmail.com. That's it. I have the basic contact saved. And now I'll be quick in capturing the informations. Okay. So I've recorded some basic information. Now I have saved. Okay. So the case got created, and I also have the case number. So over the phone, I have, now I'm going to disconnect the call because I've already registered the case with the customer. So in the chat, I'm going to send him the case ID. So assuming, the customer also has a case page, and if from the case page he logs in to see if whatever he has, called over phone is already recorded. So when I come in, all my pre-configuration chat conversations I will be able to see here. And let me quickly see if in today's date is there any case that has been registered for me. Yes, you could see unable to configure the new laptop, and I have the case number registered. So all set. Now the customer is, happy that his case is already registered. So the conversation is still going on, and the agent is asking, "Is there anything else I could help you with?" Okay, so I go back. Okay, without waiting for the case response, the customer immediately wants to have the user manual. So agent will quickly check if it's available, and the agent is simply adding the user manual. Okay. Yeah. System is in the process of sending. So while I'm doing this, you could see that, the response with the customer is neutral. So all the sentiments are also captured here because there are a couple of messages which, the interaction is pretty slow. You see that, it is already available for the agent, and he could readily download it from the chat. Okay. So that's it. Now the customer wants to, end this conversation. So he says all good. Okay. So now the agent ends this conversation. Okay. So the conversation is all in. So I will come and close this request here. Yes. I go back to my, portal, because this is the customer wants to do something more. So I would, take up another use case. I would again initiate my bot. So assuming now this is a new customer. Or let me be the same customer, because I could also see the track cases where bot is going to respond me. Okay, so the bot is asking for the options. I click on track case, where the bot is going to ask me the case ID. So I think I had it already. Okay, so it is responding me back with the configured variable. So I have configured the state code and also the description of the case. So unable to configure the new laptop that I had purchased. Okay, so now I could again start over. So this is the default option that is available. I could also configure other questions. So I want to transfer this, topic to the agent from here. Okay, now instead of track case, if I move on to new inquiry, so the bot will stop responding me, and again my agent will, start receiving an incoming request. So you could see that he is already in the busy state. So I accept, but for the discussion sake, I directly end this. Okay. Yes. How this complete conversation was possible. So I will quickly show you, the bit and pieces of code that we had written. It is all, the configurable codes. So this is my Power Virtual Agent, screen where I move on to topics. You could see some list of topics which is already, giving us some insights on how do I, start my topic conversation with. So I've picked up the greeting. Okay. So I move on to this topic. Okay, so all I did is when I get the incoming message, I just redirect to the topic that I want to. So I want to, have this bot only deal with the inquiries about the cases. So I redirected to this topic, and in my inquiry about case, I configured a Power Automate flow. I kept my questions really simple. If I kept the trigger points as case details or list cases, just to trigger the conversation about case. So I have kept a simple question. Please choose from the options, and I have kept track case and inquiry. So when the user chooses track case, I just directed my flow to a Power Automate flow and the bot conversations. So when it is all about new inquiry, I transferred from bot, and I transferred my call to an agent. Here, the step I did is I just configured my omni-channel, instance information here. Okay. So once I did this, so what my Power Automate flow does, it just, takes the case ID as input, and it returns me with the case, status and case title, which I'm going to flash on the bot screen. So here, this is my simple flow that I had configured. So you see that, this is the input I had taken, my case ID. I initialize the variables, which I wanted to, set as output. Passing the case ID, I just listed the rows. And when I received the input, so I, set the variables to capture the, status and title of the result set. So I have set a return variable to populate them on the chat channel. Okay. So within Power Apps, so I kept a simple solution, putting all my configuration information together. I bundled my chatbot flow so that it is easy for me to package them, export and import in any new regions. So I've kept yeah. So I've kept a simple portal service to demonstrate this for enabling the live chat, and I also had my them omni-channel apps configured. Okay. So while the agent is still talking to the bot, or the live chat is still on, so now I pick up my mobile. So I would like to send some request on behalf of the customer. So I'm going to quickly send a message in the WhatsApp agent number that I had set. Okay. So I've already set my WhatsApp message. So I'm also going to send SMS just to see how the agent is getting multiple requests at the same time, and how uh, the analytics is capturing the current insights of the customers, whether they are happy with the response time or not. So just give me a second. I will initiate a message here. All set. Okay. So while this is all coming up, I wanted to show you the portal apps. So let me enable the portal app. Okay. You could see that the SMS request is already incoming. So I just accept. So we must be wondering, why, when there are so many fast communication channels, we still have the SMS. So one is to, notify, our, order delivery status or any inquiries. And the other is sometimes, in this world, there are still regions where, the internal signal is down and we want to, send the text messages in terms of other, channels. So that is what, happening here. And we have this SMS, integration in place. So I've already received this message in my configured number from the service provider. Okay, so while this is on, I will still go and initiate as a customer to see how the multiple requests are in place. So let me quickly close this chat. A quick refresh will initiate a new chat for me. Okay, so I move on to the default page. Okay, so I've chosen some basic information. I will stick on to case, and then I submit. Okay, so I make a new inquiry so that this call is also moving on to the human agent queue. All set. So while I'm doing this conversation, you could see that, accept, and multiple conversations are still on here. So in the conversation summary, I already have the, uh, pre-conversation, questions that I had answered for my email ID, my name, and the query option that I had chosen. And it is also listing me the waiting time, what was the conversation details, and all the history. So this is not it. We also have, if at all I could set some quick replies when, because I am going to, interact with more than one person. So how do this communication happen? All of those things I could list here. So let me end these conversations just to clear my queue. So once I have this, I close all of them. So I will leave this open to show what happens if the conversation is not closed from the home board. Here you see the Omni Channel Agent board. It is listing me all my work items. If I have any of them or any of the open work item what I had closed recently. And here you could see my ongoing conversations. So what are the queues where I'm part of? When I close a request, you could see the status is moving from active to wrapped up, which means the conversation is all over. So I have couple of active conversations. The one which is open, I have some requests coming in from the Facebook channel as well. So the conversation is open as long as the customer logs in again and initiates this discussion. Okay, so for a moment, I will switch back to the omni-channel agent where I will show you my Facebook configurations. On top of Facebook configurations, I will also show you whether, after a long time, if a customer is returning, how is his, request getting channelized, whether it is going to stay with the same agent or a new agent is going to respond. Okay. So I move on to the any questions here. Okay, so I move on to the admin center app. Sorry, for a while I did not, monitor the chat queue. So please excuse me if I have not answered any of your queries from the chat. Okay, I'm back in Omni Channel Admin Center. So now my focus is on Facebook channel. So yes, the Facebook channel is again the steps are same where I have an API ID and the application secret. So I move on to the Facebook page. So you have to excuse me for opening my Facebook channel page here, but that will really help me to demonstrate. Okay. So I'll quickly move on to developers.facebook.com. So you could see here that I have a my app section where all my apps that I had configured is listed. So for configuring this demo, I am using this particular app which is already live. So there are some prerequisites that your app has to be submitted for a review, and Facebook has to really approve that the features that you have to enable from your app to any of the channels. So what I have placed a request is for messaging channel. So it went on a review process, and once they have accepted, the communication between the app and my Facebook developers app and my omnichannel app is all set. So I go back to omnichannel admin center. You could see that I have configured the application ID. This ID is very much the same as my application ID in Facebook. So the secret is all taken again from the channel. So I just quickly show you. Okay. Yeah. So it's all here. So once I have this, I move on to the Facebook pages. So from we have to streamline the request from each of the Facebook page to a respective work stream. So I have chosen the Facebook page, Devi's Facebook page with this particular ID to Facebook work stream. So yeah, you could see here once I come to the work stream, it is all the same. Be it whatever channel I have a channel, I have some routing rules, and I also can route all my request to the queues which I have configured here. So if I want to configure a bot response, I could do that. So for work distribution options, here I am keeping the close of inactivity within 5 hours. I define a wider range of capacity because from social channels normally there would be a lot of requests that is coming in. So I set additional status even when I'm away. I still want the notification to be pushed in. So when I come on my conversation board, I will have all these you know uh, incoming request which is already placed in my conversation board. Okay. Yep. So I just show one more point within the messenger. Just give me a second. Okay, I move on to the webhook. So here you will see a lot of features that is listed, which we could test, subscribe, and also use it here. Okay. I expand my messenger and I show you the settings. So this is the place where I will update the callback URL and the verification token, which omnichannel app is going to give me. So let me open the channel again. So the moment I configure, you see that there is a callback URL and verification token that is returned by this channel configuration. So I have to update it back here so the communication is set two-way. No, yes, I have showed all that that is available in the Facebook app. So I've also created a test app. So I will move on there and I will submit a request. Okay, I think I have it already here. Okay. Okay, you see here that I have a messenger already listed. So I've already made a like to this page, social page. So if you see in the list of pages in my account, and if I move on to the like pages, I already have this page. So the navigation to this page becomes easier for me. So then I open this page. So I could always send the messenger. If you have the messenger available in your mobile app, you could directly send. So these are the test messages which I had exchanged in the past. So now I will send a new message. Okay. So here, because I am a returning person, and I have shown you that all my requests are active. So I will move back to my customer service app. So now I'm an agent, and I will show you how I will open my existing conversations for this particular Facebook account. So as I said, every time it reauthorize your authentication, and it will check if your browser is still again compatible for receiving the notifications. Though it takes a while, it helps us to make sure that the signal or notifications are pushed in for all the channels. Okay, so I move on to my omni-channel ongoing conversation. So you could see here that this originally got created on 7th of September. Now all I'm going to do is I'm going to choose this, and I'm going to click on monitor. Okay. Okay, so now I click on join chat. So I have not lost any of my previous conversations. I still, retain all the conversation histories in the past. So with I have received the latest message as well. So when I respond back, okay. So here now it is all set, and the conversation will continue between these two channels. Okay, you could see here in the history how long I have been, waiting, and what is my return time on this conversation. So this information also I will be able to see in this conversation history. So while I am still a human agent, you could see here that I could take notes while I'm discussing. You know, also I have not configured any bot service. So if I enable this, I will be able to transfer this communication to other agents or supervisors as well. Okay, I think pretty much I have covered everything. So with couple of settings that we need to enable in terms of security, if you encounter any issues while you are enabling the agent dashboard. So I'll quickly move on to my Azure account, because the wide problem that I have encountered in the community forum, so that the notifications are not pushed in. I have done all the settings in place, but still my notification is not there. Sometimes what happens when the agent profile is set up, so even the agent will receive the problem that you're not authorized to receive notifications. So in all those scenarios, I just come to the Azure Active Directory. I just quickly check the properties. Okay, so here you could see that manage security defaults. So see that your organization is blocking those notifications or blocking the signal or notifications from being received in the customer service agent app. So you could discuss with your organization and switch off this security defaults. Once this is turned off, those issues will be resolved. I think I'm pretty much on time now. I would invite more questions. So I stop my presentation.
Hi, Debbie. I don't actually see any questions in the chat here. I've seen some welcomes, which is nice, and some confirmations here as we've been going along. But here we go. We've got one here from Sergio. A question around what was the issue that you resolved with Azure?
Sure, I will demonstrate this quickly by showing the screenshot from my blog, because this is an issue which I had encountered. So let me quickly open my blog. Okay, so you see this, agent status, right? So the preliminary checks every time you load the Omni-channel for customer service app. So it governs, the enablement of these, statuses, and facilitating that your browser is all compatible to receive the notifications. So when sometimes you see an error like this when the service board is loading, there was a problem with your single sign on account. Please sign out from all apps and sign in again. If this continues, have your administrator contact the support. So this error, and the status will not load. So whenever you see this error, so you can quickly check your security settings. You see that if the security default settings is enabled for you, and so in that moment the organization might block these kind of notifications. So either you have to change your firewall and policies of the organization where you are browsing this, or simply turn off the security defaults.
Hi, Debbie. Just there for a second. I think we're not able to see your screen whilst you've been sharing on that last moment there.
Excuse me for that, I will share it back. All right, I'm there. So please let me know if you're able to see the problem that I posted in my blog.
Yes, that's lovely. Thank you.
Yeah. So yes. So the problem that I was, discussing is this one. So when you try to, load the agent app, omni-channel for customer service, sometimes the agent status does not load, and you see a problem. There was a problem with your single sign-on account. So every time you face this, so you have to immediately check the security default settings, because this is the one which is blocking in this loading. Either see that your policies in the organization could be changed, and you make changes to your firewall. Otherwise the simple step is to enable the security defaults to no, and there will be some set of questions. So let me just quickly show that. So right now I have, when I move to no, it takes a moment to assess and it will populate me some questions. Okay, why it's not coming? Okay, it wants me to save first. Okay, I click on manage security defaults. So I move on to no. Yes. So these are the questions that you have to discuss with your organization and have in place, so that all the browsers that the agents will be using, or the machines that agents will be using, have the settings in place, so that their status is all configured properly, and notifications are pushed in for them to initiate the real time conversations with the customers. Okay, so I choose other. Yeah, it's all done. Okay, I await more questions.
Okay, yep. So there is another question here from Stanislava. And
Mhm.
it's when an interaction to an agent starts, if it is by an existing customer, can it be associated to the record in the system automatically?
Yes, it is very much possible. So the moment the conversation is initiated, so let me pick up a new conversation. So I'll quickly initiate the call. Okay, so I move on to my dashboard. I close this Facebook conversation for a while. So I open one of the existing requests. Okay. So if I log in as Pillai again, if my customer profile is already saved, the new conversations when I sign in from the portal will be redirected to this Pillai account. So it is as simple as that. So if I just have to write a quick out of the box workflow to create a contact record every time the pre conversation survey is filled in with the new details on the portal. So every time here I enter the new details and the conversation starts. So let me initiate the conversation. Okay, you could see here the chat request is from Pillai instead of visitor 4 or visitor 5. Hope that answers the query. So you could see that when the conversation started, so it is already associating to the existing contact in the system with Pillai.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
lovely. Thank you. Yeah, that's really good. Let me just see if we can see any other questions in here. I don't see any other questions. I have a lot of comments just saying yes, how great. Everyone's really enjoyed the session, and I certainly did, right? It was, the end to end and the comprehensive, the comprehensive way that you've presented that has just been, really interesting and really informative, and I've learnt loads actually. So thank you very, very much. It's also great to see actually, how you get to troubleshoot things as well, right? When they don't maybe go quite to plan. So that was awesome. Thank you very, very much. Thank you,
thank you. Thank you
Debbie.
for that. Thank you, everyone.
Could
Thank
I
you, Raz.
ask you, please, just to maybe share your contact details in the chat in case anybody has any further questions or if they'd like to connect with you and learn more?
Sure,
That'd be
definitely. So
wonderful.
I've
Thank
shared
you.
my email ID here. So I will make sure I share my LinkedIn ID as well.
Thank you. Thank you. And everyone, if like to connect with Devi and find out a little bit more and find out maybe when she's speaking again and we can catch this session again, that would be great. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much, Devi.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you. Bye. So our next presenter is going to be Francesco Musso, who's going to be speaking to us about the lessons that he's learned from 10 Power Apps Portals projects. And he's going to be coming up in around 4 minutes, I think. But before Franco comes on, just a reminder that we've got some more great sessions coming up today at 5 o'clock BST. I guess I'm using BST, but maybe everyone else is using GMT. I'm not quite sure. 5 p.m. my time. We've got optimized AI-driven chatbots for Power Virtual Agents coming up. And then we've got a session from actually Reza Durrani coming up at 6 p.m., which is building chatbot